following show is a paid program.
Hey family, how you doing today? I am so excited today. We're talking about the music business with none other than Michon Young, national recording artist. This lady is from Gary, Indiana, and lives in Detroit. Hey lady, how you doing?
I am wonderful. How are you? Thank you so
Oh, I
much.
am so excited. So people don't know, I love to dance, okay? I love to try. Let's say it like that. I love to try to dance. So I found this lady on YouTube and I was going through and I said, wait a minute. She's got a lot of great two-step music that I love to try to. Now, you know I got two left feet, but I'm working on it. So anyway, I came across your name and your music, and I have not stopped listening to it. Lady, you
Oh,
started
wow.
12 years old singing. How did all of this music
Yeah.
industry start?
You know what? It really did start at 12. Like many artists, I started in the church,
Yes.
and it was not an option, to do anything other than sing in the choir. My mother was the minister of music. My grandmother was a preached, so it was heavenly, something that I had to do. And I honestly did never thought that I would end up pursuing this professionally. My goal was to become a top executive and get into the corporate world, which is what I did actually for a number of years. But I believe God had other plans and encouraged me to use my gift that I had stopped after college for so many years, and it's just been a blessing, just been an absolute blessing.
Absolutely. In looking at it, I found out some little known facts about you. Background for Pastor Marvin Winans.
Yeah, yeah, that was just an incredible journey to be selected by Pastor Winans to be a part of his background singers. I sang background with Tim Bowman Jr. and his
Right.
son, and being able to travel and then to do a duet with him, was just amazing. So yeah, yeah, I was able to travel a great deal with him and perform background for him.
Absolutely. Alone but not alone with Pastor Marvin.
Hello.
Yeah, Winans. How did that go? That song is beautiful.
Oh wow. It was it's Pastor Winans is extremely humble when it comes to the people that support him. I learned such a great deal about the business, about what to do and what not to do, and I still consider him just the first person who really mentored me into this business and showed me in many ways, there's been traveling with him, how this thing works. Still learning, but what a way to start off with such a giant in the music industry.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you spoke of that. The music business, as we were talking a little bit before, is about 10% of the music, right? And 90% business. And most of the artists really sometimes the business side really doesn't, do them. It's not fair in some ways to them. And let's talk about that because a lot of artists are on here that maybe are new.
Yeah, the one thing that was most important to me, based on just so many things that you have heard and through the years, about artists not being able to, whether it's masters or whether it's
Right.
other things, it's important to understand the business. Now, I'm still learning, as
Yeah.
I go, but I can tell you a long way from when first started in making sure that your music is protected, make sure it's copywritten, make sure there's so many ins and outs of understanding this business and making sure that you own what you own your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that was important to me. We've been blessed to be approached by, a couple of different labels. And I think what was most important to me was to be able to create my own path, for lack of a better term,
Right.
and to be able to own what God had given me, what I created. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to have all the other influences or the other hands in the pot. So it's just the hands of me and my husband,
Right.
and we're working this thing as best we can and
Mm-hmm.
learning along the way. We don't always get it right,
Right.
but we make sure that the business is handled first and foremost.
I'm so glad that. Shout out to your management and husband about everything that he does. But what I loved about reading your story is that you invest in yourself, and many of us don't.
Yeah, that's something I think, especially as an indie artist,
Right.
you also have to pay the bills,
Right.
in addition to pursuing this. So my profession prior to doing this on a regular basis was in human resources management.
Right.
So I early on, when I first started, I was working 9 to 10 to 11 hours a day, then going in the studio for 6 and 7 hours, and this was, I'd say for the first 5 years, first
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 years, it was having two full-time jobs.
Right.
It's a lot of work, when you still have to keep going and maintaining your life, while you're
Mm-hmm.
pursuing this. And you have to know that if you want to do this, you're going to have to put 110% into this every day, all the time. There's not a CD cover that I've not personally created, or
Right.
there's not the business side. All of that is taken care of from me. So it's hands on. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's hands on every single step of the way, and it's learning and finding people who can mentor and assist you and help you, to develop, in that area. But it really is. It's a nonstop grinding,
Right.
um, everyday journey that I wouldn't honestly trade for the world.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that. Many people look at you when you start and then they look at you being a celebrity, but they never know the journey. There's a journey part of that, and I'm glad you're speaking on that.
Yeah, yeah. I was just telling my husband as we celebrate 5 years of releasing something about you. I said, wow, I remember when we first recorded that song.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, Cam, my husband and I were literally going from DJ to DJ to DJ, doing as best we can to get the word out. No one knew, about my music or
Right.
anything else. So we took the grassroots approach,
Mm-hmm.
and to look and see 2.6 million views, went from ground zero. It brings tears to my eyes still, because it really was getting out there, selling CDs out of the trunk of our car
Mm-hmm.
to get going. It amazes me now just to see how far we've come. Still a long way to go,
Right.
but just to see how far we've come with just the grind.
Mm-hmm.
It amazes me.
Absolutely. Many, and we were talking about investing in yourself. A lot of people don't understand representation is very key. The person that represents you is really, really key to a lot of this, the success part.
Yeah, I totally agree. People that are out there they're an extension of you,
Yes.
And so, just as I tell my husband and I tell, all the other band members, listen, it to me it's not as much about musicianship with the band members that I have, my background singers, but it's the heart as well.
Right.
When we have people on our team, it's not, we invite people on our team, it's not just how great you sound or how great you play, it's how great that heart is as well, because we're an extension of each other when we're out there in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And from a spiritual standpoint, I promised the Lord that if I would get out, He would get me out there, that I would represent Him as best I can in excellence. So that means surrounding myself with people, who are good hearted,
Mm-hmm.
who are kind, and that's important to me. That's
Right.
important to me, to have a team that's well rounded.
Absolutely. The other thing too that I know a little bit about you, or heard so, is that when you do, you take your band out, you and your band, you make sure they're paid. They have their own, yeah, this is real because they have a family. They have a family, and I'm sure many
Yeah.
times for the income that you've made, maybe that night, you might not have gotten paid, but you made sure they did.
Oh yeah, that's so important to me. This is my dream and it's my journey, and I'm not going to ask people to sacrifice
Right,
themselves, their lives, and their for the sake of my dream. So it's very important, and that's actually one thing I learned from Pastor Marvin Winans when he made sure that if his accommodations were 5 star, so was ours.
right.
And I really appreciated that, and so when I go places, my band is paid first and foremost. um they're stayed as best, we place them in many cases in individual rooms.
Right,
We try to roll out the red carpet for the band members that support us, and I'm very proud to be able to do that. It's not always been easy. There have
right,
been numerous occasions where we have left with $0,
right.
my husband and I, but everybody else was taken care of, and so that was okay. That
Right.
was okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of this journey. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
people that we have asked to support us,
Mm-hmm.
and we do our best to make sure they're taken care of every step of the way.
Absolutely. I wanted people to know that about you. I read a little bit. And now
Oh
COVID hit.
wow,
Yeah, so COVID hit the beginning of 2020. Like the whole world
yeah,
stopped, the end of
yeah.
February, beginning of March. And many people were full time, as we spoke about, as artists during that time. What advice would you give them since they were full time at the time? I know you kept going as far as working on projects, you still kept going. A lot of people, this
Yeah.
is the time that we have time.
Yeah, yeah. This was the time to me when the world shut down. It was the time where we just decided we were going to hone our craft. We were
Right,
going to get to buckle down to the music. We weren't going to take this as a extended vacation, but we went into a writing and production frenzy and just found ways to get through this. A lot of that will be expressed in my upcoming project in June that's coming out. But we wrote a lot. I wrote a lot. I
right,
did a lot of music behind the scenes, and I used this as a time to, just appreciate life, I guess,
right,
more because you also this was so much happened in such a short period of time.
right.
So I connected with family and so forth, but I just gained a greater appreciation, I think, for life in general. And I wrote things. I often would contact family members and would do Zoom inspirational, things, and do sing some songs and so forth because we needed each other. Everybody
We
needed each
did.
other,
We
to
did.
get through this,
Yeah.
right? So it was an incredible year, and we're still in it, but
Right,
thankfully it looks like the sun is trying to peek its way through the
right.
dark clouds we've had over the years, the last year and a half, and hopefully we're coming out of it now. But it's been an incredible year, especially as an artist.
Right.
But this was the time, to your point, this was definitely the time to just kind of buckle down and reclaim, reframe, refresh, all of that.
Absolutely. The thing about
Yeah.
it is that because most were traveling and going so fast, many didn't, the husband was passing the wife or the wife was passing the husband, didn't see the children. This was also time for family.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I appreciated that even more so for the last few years. It's been a busy, thankfully,
Yeah,
period of being able to travel, abroad in so many places. But having been able to not having, I think before COVID, pre-COVID, I probably was home maybe once a month, and so being able to have an extended period of time where I could reconnect with family and friends, and I have a son who's a senior in college, so able to just kind of just just regroup all
Right.
around. It was an experience for me that will last forever. In seeing losing so many friends and
Right.
people that I, it's no words to describe. No words to describe it.
It sure is. You have some great songs that are out. I tell you, lady, one of them, Something About You, we were talking about that. Where did that come from? Just the thought of Something About You, because that's
Wow.
the one that came into my spirit. That's what I found, and that's why I connected. I was like, who is this singing this song?
For me, it was I guess for lack of a better term, it's an ode to that mature,
Yes.
seasoned fella. I think go away from trying to dye the beard or mustache. Just embrace that salt and pepper goatee.
Right.
And what I found was that many women appreciate that salt and pepper goatee and that seasoned, well seasoned, mature man. And so that's what that song really captured for me. That's what I like, and what I found that many other females around the world and abroad care for as well. So that has been my number one song track to date. Is and people always remember that line, "Salt and pepper goatee, signs of
Yes.
your maturity."
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I loved. I was like, wait a minute. This lady is celebrating a kings. It's not often that
Yeah,
we hear a lot of women celebrate us as kings. And I just
yeah,
loved that song because of that. You really just hone in about the love. We accept you for who you are. We love you just the way
yeah.
you are. You just don't have to change. We just love it. And I was like,
Right.
whoa, who
Which
is this lady?
Yeah, and that's the truth. It's not a lot of songs that really embrace that. And
Right.
I didn't seek out to purposely do that because there weren't songs out there like that. But I did think that there is a need to embrace, just to embrace just maturing. I
Right.
think that there's a need to embrace that. So many times we often want to go back to who we used to be,
Yes.
when it's a blessing that you've made it to certain stages of life, and why
Right.
not embrace them? Why not enjoy them? Why not celebrate? And that's what, not only that song, but that's what I try to represent in my music.
And I'm glad you said that because many times we're trying to dye the hair, we're trying to lose the weight down to when we were 20 and 30. We're trying to get everything back to where we
Right,
were, which in
right,
fact is just
right.
great to even be where we are. We need to be present, in other words.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally agree. You can, you every day, and this is the spiritual side of me coming out,
Yeah.
I guess, but
Uh-huh.
every day it's an absolute blessing to
Yes.
see the sun rise.
Yes.
And if nothing else, this year and a half has taught us to just embrace where you are this moment, and to be appreciative of life. And that's celebrating who you are. It's celebrating who you are at any stage of your life. And especially as you mature, rather than depress yourself about what you used to be, how about plan for what you still can be? And that's what I choose to do.
Absolutely. There's
Never
one that
too
I
late.
love for two steppers because I'm trying, like I said, work on that is let's go to work. I love the people in the back on that video. I'm trying to practice. I'm trying work it out. I'm trying to do it. But where did that come from? Let's go to work.
A lot of the songs I write are encouraged love. So many, there's a lot of breakup songs out there, a lot of
Yes.
songs of who did who wrong.
Right.
And while I'm not saying that there's not a need to express your feelings that way, but there also, I think, is a greater need to talk about how great love can be and what you can do to make it better. And that's kind of how that's what I try to do. Let's Go to Work says, hey, I'm not perfect. You're not
Right.
either. But let's work this thing out. Let's work together. And that's what I try to do. With most of the songs, but that one in particular, let's go to work on this thing.
Let's
And
do
the
it.
perk of the work is happy
Absolutely.
you, happy me.
Absolutely. Let's do this. We'll take a break and we'll be right back with Michon Young.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages. The Cam Hill Show. If you'd like to advertise your business or become a sponsor, contact the Cam Hill Show at gmail.com.
I'm a part of the Prenatal Care Club now, taking all my STD tests.
Did you know your doctor's required by law to test you 3 times for syphilis and HIV?
Yes, my husband and I are making sure I get all 3 tests.
Good. Testing is the key to preventing congenital syphilis.
And good prenatal care is your first labor of love.
Glad to hear your husband is so involved.
Thank you. Yes, taking all my STD tests for syphilis is important to both of us. My prenatal promise is to prevent a stillbirth or miscarriage. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
This pandemic has impacted the lives of many people living with underlying health conditions, such as asthma and diabetes. That's why avoiding COVID-19 is a top priority, and a vaccine will help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Please keep masking up and practicing social distancing to protect those close to you. And be ready to take your best shot when a vaccine is available. Protect yourself to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Amazing things for you.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month. Both for 39-month lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 0.9% APR for 72 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. RonCarterCadillac.com.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, we are back with Michon Young. Michon, we were just talking about a lot of your music, about the songs and things like that. And just your newest one that we're talking about now, you're #1 in my book. Just a beautiful rendition of Gladys Knight and the Pips. Where did that come from?
I actually was asked to be a part of, it's called Soul Sessions, and it consisted of a number of female R&B singers. Teresa Griffith, CeCe Peniston was another on that project. And they presented the Platinum Vibe Recordings, presented it to me and said, we'd like to be a part of it, and we have a song that we'd like you to do. And honestly, Cam, when they first gave me that song, I said, no way. There's no way I will try and tackle the amazing living legend, Miss Gladys Knight. But they allowed me to creatively, I guess, put a little bit of Michon into it. And I certainly wasn't, trying to be a copycat, for lack of a better term. I felt it best to try and be me and do, bring some of Michon into that classic. And hopefully I was able to do that. We've been blessed to see it reach #1 as of last week on the indie charts. So I'm thankful for that, and thankful for the opportunity to do that. It was an amazing song.
Absolutely. You really did. I just want to let you know you did. You put Michon in there, and it is beautifully done. It is absolutely great to even hear it in just a different way, It's just beautiful, because each time you hear things from someone else, you're looking, you hear it from another side, and also you get a different meaning of it, I think.
Yeah, one of the things I didn't want to do because that's such a classic,
Yes.
I definitely didn't want to take away from the integrity, of the track. It was great and amazing as it was. But, I also, wanted to be, I guess, true to my artistry and just put a little bit of me into it without taking away from something that was already beautifully done.
Mm-hmm. 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 As you go through this music industry, and now 2021, we were talking about coming out of COVID, like post COVID, we're working on it, right?
Yeah.
And going into our
Yeah.
really our new normal, because this is what it's going to be, our kind of new normal. What do you see for the music
hmm
industry going forward? Now that people are, seems like they're coming back, they're trying to get out. They've been in a whole year.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm pleased to see that, that the world is slowly but surely opening. I think honestly for the next couple of years
Mm-hmm.
that it's going to take, I think, that long for everyone to feel incredibly comfortable with
Right.
going out to massive crowds.
Mm-hmm.
So I do see a lot of intimate performance opportunities that will be out there for more intimate settings. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's going to be a minute before people really want to go out to the large festivals and
Right.
um, you know and at least for me, I can speak for me. It
Right.
will be a while, before I'm truly comfortable with doing that. But we definitely have started taking requests now for more smaller, as the summer moves on and we're able to go outside more. But I honestly do think that it's going to be a little bit of time before people really are going to go out in droves, to
Mm-hmm.
the larger festivals that we're accustomed, to seeing. Could
Right.
be wrong, but you never know. You
Yeah,
never know.
absolutely. What I've also noticed too, and I don't know if you have, just to ask you that, a lot of people, because we were doing a lot of virtual, just like now, and we were doing a lot of virtual
Yeah,
concerts. People have asked me,
yeah,
"Hey, Cam, I mean, we really want to go to a live something. They want to be
yeah.
there. Have you seen that?"
I have, people definitely, I think they are virtual showed out.
Right,
They have seen so many, and it was wonderful when it first started because it
right,
certainly gave you another, avenue of being able to experience some of your favorite artists and
right.
actually up close and personal. So it
Uh
was
huh.
great.
Right.
But at this point, a year into it,
Yeah.
people are like, give me some place to go,
Right.
where I can see a live performer. So I definitely think that, especially, people they definitely have that desire, but I
Right.
just don't know that people have the desire to go to the massive,
I
where
agree
there's
with you.
thousands and
Yeah, I
thousands,
agree with that part.
I don't
Definitely.
know.
Yeah, definitely. They don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree with that. Not
yeah,
right now. But yes, they do want to see
yeah,
the intimate part. They are okay. I do know that. People are okay with you saying, hey, we're not doing the meet and greets anymore, but
right.
we are able to see the person live. They do
Yeah.
like that. Hmm.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to see though if there are, like microphones, how things, how the how people, try companies try to come up with different type of things. So because this is going to be this way for a while,
Right.
I think,
Yes, I
and how
agree.
if they what type of things that they come up with so that they can have feel the comfort and safety of being out there, but
Right.
still have things that can safeguard you as an artist and the audience. It'd be
Uh-huh.
interesting to see what type of things they come up with.
Absolutely. As you've gone on, what all have you learned along the way for other artists to know? I know
I've
it's a lot.
learned that. Oh man, I'll make it real quick though, because I think for me, the most important thing I've learned is to ensure that you're doing this for the love of it,
Hmm.
and not for, you want some notoriety or you're looking for an extreme amount of money. or you're looking for people to support you all the time. You have to be
Right.
your own, you have to be your biggest cheerleader and surround yourself with true people who believe in you, who support you, who help you, who care for you, who care for your emotional health. Because some this journey is taxing, emotionally, financially, and otherwise. And so you need somebody or somebodies around you who are true, who are real, who have your best interest at heart, and who can help you, on this journey, stay grounded and stay emotionally healthy, because that's important. That's important. This journey will take you on a roller coaster, and
Yes.
then some.
Uh-huh.
So you have to make sure, I think, that you have people around you, and be your biggest cheerleader. Don't look. People like you on Monday, they like your song on Monday, and then by Thursday they're on to the next one, and you got to be
Right.
okay with that.
Right.
You just got to keep grinding, and like I said, do it. Make sure that you absolutely love what you do, because you will be disappointed if you
Mm-hmm.
think, for the most part, that everybody's going to celebrate you all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not going to happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the other thing, and I'm glad you mentioned that, so many people become disappointed that family and close friends may not understand or see the vision as quickly as you've seen it, or support it, I should say, until it's popular.
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. I said from day one, this is my dream,
Mm-hmm.
and I am not expecting, nor am I looking for, people to fully give all of their undivided attention to support my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, I've got some good people on my right and left,
Yes.
but at the end of the day, I realized early on that this was something I chose to pursue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay if family does not get, you, or does not always support, the way that you'd like them to. Can't do it for that either. You simply
Right.
have to do it because you believe in what you're doing. You believe in your gift, and you believe in your journey, and you're going to go full into this journey with an understanding that no matter what, I'm going to love what I do. When I stop loving what I do, then I'm going to stop, because it's just not going to be worth it. It's not going to be worth it to pursue it just for the sake of other things that you think should happen as a result of doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You said something very pivotal too, is that your 9 to 5, you kept it for a long, you were at your 9 to 5 for a long time. Other people, sometimes they, jump into this prematurely sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it can be easy, I guess, to think about when you realize how much is involved in
Yes.
pursuing this. But you have to be realistic, And for me, I knew, okay, this is going to require a lot of work. We don't have a label, we don't
Right.
have all the other things that people, typically have in this journey. So we've got to do it all, but we also
Mm-hmm.
have to fund it all. And
Right.
funding it means that
Yes. Yes. Fund it all.
funding it means, yeah, fund it means you have to have that capital. We've got to pay the band. We've got to,
Mm-hmm.
I've never asked for favors, from people.
Mm-hmm.
So we've worked hard, and even still, even when COVID hit, I did other things that I've done in the past, HR consulting and so forth, to subsidize what we were doing, and
Mm-hmm.
I was okay with that,
Right.
totally okay with that. So you do what you have to do when you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to pursue a dream, and be okay with that.
Absolutely. I'm glad you spoke about background, because a lot of people want to be forefront all the time, when they first come out. And the background and what you said, and I love what you said. You said, I really like to stay in the background versus being in in the forefront. But the background, I love what you did as far as your admiration and what you celebrated about Pastor Marvin Winans, and all that you've said about him throughout.
Yeah, I really do. I really am comfortable best in the background, and honestly, had I not been tugged at the heart and so at so many late nights, that it was time to use my gift, pick it up and dust it off and use it again, I probably would have stayed in the background. So, I thank Pastor Winans a great deal for believing in me. I'll share this really quick story. He told me one day in his office, he said, write your name on this piece of paper. And he said, because one day people are going to want your autograph. And I joked and I laughed and the very first time I was at my CD release party, the very first CD I released, and it sold out and people were coming over to ask me for my autograph. I thought about that moment and just bust into tears, because he said that, and I never would have thought that. But yeah, yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. So now people are asking for your autograph. You're thinking back like, yeah, right. At the time he was saying it.
Yeah, yeah, never would have thought that. Never would have thought that. Never dreamt that. Never, just never. So, for him to say that at that time, and then, to actually have that happen when people send me emails and I read every individual email and I respond personally to every individual person that reaches out to me because I don't take it lightly. There's too many artists out there that they could tune into and listen to and support. And the fact that they chose me
Yes.
just means something. So the least I can do is just reach out to you. You're never too busy. You should never be too busy as an
Right.
artist to support those who have taken up the time and spent their money to support you, and I never want to get rid of that feeling.
Absolutely. As we're looking at it, the industry, and we were talking about the 2020, and we were just talking about advice to others that maybe are, brand new to it, or they're just trying, they're spending their money in studio time, and maybe into management, just not understanding that business representation, and we talked about that, was so key, but you have to spend money for representation, attorneys, management, publicist, or whatever, if you don't have anybody that can assist you.
Yeah, that's the absolute truth, because you definitely, there's so many legalities involved,
Yes.
with original pieces, original compositions compositions rather, that you definitely want to make sure you've got your ducks in a row. And, getting the right, making sure you've got, the right entertainment attorney.
Right.
And actually, and reading, there was a lot of things before we were able to get an attorney. We would spend weeks and
Yes.
weeks of researching, of reading, of going to get material so we could understand what we didn't know, so
Right.
we could learn what we didn't know and understand it. Um, but that's so important, and then there's many things that we had to learn to do on our own until we could do better. Like I said, there was, from all of the CD covers to the photograph to all of that, I personally did.
Uh-huh.
It was nothing to me at all to try and learn all of these different things, copywriting, all of that. That was all done after, sometimes at 12 o'clock midnight, after working all day to 6 and going to the
Right.
studio 5 hours,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but it was worth it. It was worth it. But definitely, you got to make sure that you don't just look at this as, I want to sing and show people I can sing.
Right.
If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But if you're really looking at this to professionally, to pursue it professionally, there's so many other layers of things that you just need to make sure you know and cover, should you decide to.
Absolutely. The other thing that I love about you and your husband, networking. Networking. Getting out there, meeting the DJs, getting out there, meeting radio personalities, media, and things like that. So what we'll do, we'll expand on that We'll take a break and we'll be right back on the Cam Hill Show.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages. The Cam Hill Show. If you'd like to advertise your business or become a sponsor, contact the Cam Hill Show at gmail.com.
I'm a part of the Prenatal Care Club now, taking all my STD tests.
Did you know your doctor's required by law to test you 3 times for syphilis and HIV?
Yes, my husband and I are making sure I get all 3 tests.
Good. Testing is the key to preventing congenital syphilis.
And good prenatal care is your first labor of love.
Glad to hear your husband is so involved.
Thank you. Yes, taking all my STD tests for syphilis is important to both of us. My prenatal promise is to prevent a stillbirth or miscarriage. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
This pandemic has impacted the lives of many people living with underlying health conditions, such as asthma and diabetes. That's why avoiding COVID-19 is a top priority, and a vaccine will help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Please keep masking up and practicing social distancing to protect those close to you, and be ready to take your best shot when a vaccine is available. Protect yourself to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Amazing things for you.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month. Both for 39-month lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 0.9% APR for 72 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. RonCarterCadillac.com.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey family, thanks for coming back. We're talking to Miss Michon Young, National Recording Artist. We were picking up right there, just talking about the fact of just music in itself, what you should do, things like that, and what you've been doing along the way. Also networking, we were talking about that, and that's what I love about you two, the two of you all. You get out there, you tell people about the music you have, and you're very transparent and very open about how to contact you.
Yeah, it's I think it's critical,
Yes.
the first people at the front line who can get your music into the ears of your listeners are the DJs, So it was important and vital to get a connection, with the DJs early on. So we were personally delivering, our tunes to DJs, and even asking for feedback, at times. So
Right.
it was great, and it still is. I still have really great relationships with a number of DJs, and absolutely, I make myself available, and my husband makes himself available at any point in time to connect. So whether it's a radio drop or a jingle, I've written a few jingles for DJs. Some didn't even ask, but just for me, just as a thank you for supporting the music and getting my music out there. We would just do stuff like that,
Right.
no cost, no charge. You've exposed me, you've exposed our music,
Right.
so that's little things like that have helped us to have great relationships with the DJs.
And such a great lifeline. I love that you all make that lifeline between each other as far as, the DJs and yourself. You're very, like I said, transparent, open, and very available. You make it easy for someone to contact you. I know it was easy for us to contact you. You responded immediately. Not often we get that. And we just love that. We're not 6 degrees anymore from each other. So many people say, you're 6 degrees from certain people, but I love that part.
That means a lot, and thank you for saying that, because we try to, we try our best. we're human and we make mistakes like the
Mm-hmm.
next man. But
Mm-hmm.
we have, as we have been gaining more following,
Right.
sometimes it gets difficult to respond as timely. But I have a 48-hour rule,
Yeah.
that listen. We respond no
Right.
more than 48 hours. You
Mm-hmm.
never should get too busy for people who are reaching out to further expose you in what you do.
Right.
And
Right.
when you get to the point where you're at that level where no, you have to contact my manager's manager, that's too many layers.
Right.
It's too many
Right.
layers. It's too many layers. You should never be that grand where you can't reach to reach out to the people that want to further your career. And
Mm-hmm.
anytime somebody is wanting to include you in your product, your
Mm-hmm.
music, um, it, it makes no sense to me. I never understood why people who reach a certain level almost forget where they came from, and who helped them to get there. And I said, no matter where God takes me, I
Mm-hmm.
pray that I always have a heart for the people, you
Yes.
know, because
Yes.
that's
Yes.
what this is all about.
Absolutely. Well, this, I will say, COVID has changed the thought processes of many of those people because everybody was at home. So when we started reaching out to everybody during COVID, they were like, yes, we're at home.
I
We want to
bet.
stay relevant. Yes, we'll do virtual immediately. It was no
Oh, I'm
longer calling
sure.
to the
I'm sure.
manager anymore. It was like, Cam, call my cell phone. Here it is.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it.
It was true. It was an eye-opening thing that I felt like, a lot of people that I would have been able to talk to because of concerts and, them traveling along the way and everything.
hmm
They were like, no, Cam, we're at
hmm
home and we want we want you to talk to, we want to do whatever we got to do, you know.
And let's hope that that same spirit stays, now
Yes.
that we get back out there.
Uh-huh.
Let's hope that everybody, has a different
Right.
way of doing, of interacting,
Right.
with other people, and consider those small people, that
Right.
kind of at the consider them no longer small people, but just people that perhaps, can help further your career, or you can help them in some way. I'm hoping that a spirit of servitude comes out of all of this, in
I
some
am
small
too.
way, in my naive way.
Yeah.
I really do.
Absolutely. You've got anything upcoming? You've got a lot of upcoming things. June, you were saying you're getting ready to drop something new.
Yeah, we are getting ready to drop a 15-track project. It's called Rose Colored Glasses, LLE Volume 3, which is Love Life Experiences, Volume
Mm-hmm.
3. And I am extremely excited about this project, primarily because it was written during the pandemic. So there's a lot of um, emotional, tracks, fun tracks, but it kind of tells some stages of stories musically that I think many of us may have experienced during this downtime. So I'm hoping that it'll reach the hearts of many, get it out there. So June is coming out. We've
Mm-hmm.
got a new single coming out this Friday called Happy,
Mm-hmm.
off the new project, and video that we just actually had to shoot last weekend. So yeah, it's off and running again.
Right. It's off and running. So happy. Tell us a little bit about it and where it came from.
Oh wow, Happy. Sometimes I think that we, at least pre-pandemic, for me, and this is my personal story. Basically, you sometimes you can just look for other things, that you think could make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you also think that, people sometimes will try to dummy down what you want to do for you, what you think you would like to have to makes you happy. And so the message in this song is just simply, lyric says, all I want is to be happy. And is it too much to want the, a huge piece of life's pie? never let anyone dummy down your desires. You know, all I wanted to be is happy, and it's okay with wanting whatever you want that makes you happy, and being comfortable with that. You know, so it's a fun song. It's a two-stepper song,
Yes.
and and I've gotten some pretty great responses. It officially comes out on Friday, and I'm excited about that.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm thanking you, lady, for everything. Let's talk to the viewers and tell them some last words. What would you like to leave with the viewers?
Oh, wow. I think I just want to leave with viewers that it's never too late to dream again. It's never too late to believe again. It's never too late to start again. It's all in the mind. It's all in what you believe about you. And if nothing else, I hope that during this time that we've all been isolated and that we've all been away from family and friends, that, you know, when we come back out, that we come back out with a loving spirit, a more willing spirit to help your brother, your sister, and be safe in the midst of it all. Still be safe. That's I guess that's about it. I've probably said enough.
Sounds good. How do people get your music and how do people get in touch with you or your management?
Well, www.michonyoung.com, or michonyoung1@gmail.com. I respond to everybody. My music is available on all digital platforms, so Spotify, Apple, all of them. It's out there. And my YouTube channel. I typically post to my YouTube channel first, you know, everything. So, um, and Twitter at Michon Young Music, and Instagram at Michon Young Music, and Facebook as well.
Sounds good. Thank you, lady, for the opportunity. Thank your husband for,
Thank you for having
man,
me.
just being so easy for us. Thank you for just doing everything you're doing for the world and actually being there present and consistent over the years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim, for having me, to your great staff. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. 12:30 to 1:30 Central Standard Time, the Cam Hill Show. See you then. Bye.